Hi everyone, I would like to speak about Vedic literature and the contribution of Maharishi to the understanding of the Veda. You know, when we look at the Vedic literature, we found out that there are different systems, that sometimes their philosophies or their point of view of the world is completely different. For example, if we take the Sankhya system, we find out a dualistic system, which divides between pure consciousness of the Purusha and the ever-changing relative aspect of creation, which is the Prakriti. There's always a division between Purusha and Prakriti. So even when a person develops his consciousness according to this system, this division will remain. The idea beyond the Sankhya system and the Yoga system is that enlightenment is a state of Kaivalya, is a state of separation, separation between the inner self, the Purusha, and the outward aspect of reality, the changing aspect of the gunas in nature, Prakriti. And this division will remain even when a person is released from bondage, is completely enlightened. So we are talking about a dualistic system. On the other end, when we look at the Upanishad, the Brahma Sutra, we find there a point of view of the world which is completely different. We find the unity point of view, where there is identification between the inner self, the Atman, and the unboundedness of being, of pure being, which is the Brahman. So we find a system which is completely like talking about unity. There's no division between the subject and the object. And you know, when we try to somehow reconcile between these two points of view, it's very hard. It looks like two different schools that are kind of can fight with each other and can negotiate and not negotiate, contradict each other. So it's a big mess, you know, if you want to try to create one point of view about the whole Vedic literature. And for many generations, there used to be arguments, you know, back and forth between these systems. Now, what Maharishi showed is that actually there's no contradiction here. We have to approach this system and the different aspect of Vedic literature from the point of view of different states of consciousness. So the system of Sankhya, for example, and also the Yoga, is actually connected to the experience that we have in cosmic consciousness, because in cosmic consciousness there's division between the inner self, the unboundedness that the pure consciousness that we experience within ourselves, and the outward aspect of reality, the relative changing aspect of life. And this division is actually what is characterized the state of cosmic consciousness. On the other end, in unity consciousness, this division is not existing anymore. The self, our inner self, the Atman, is completely identified with the pure state of being, the Brahman, which is everywhere. So, you know, it's just a matter of understanding reality from a different point of perspective. And there's actually, once we understand Vedic literature from this point of view, actually all our difficulties in this respect are resolved. The Puranas, for example, we find the stories about celestial beings and all kind of amazing description of reality, that if we approach this kind of literature just from the classical point of view, it doesn't make much sense. Maharishi explained that the Puranas actually they describe states of consciousness, you know, like refined perception that are characterized the state of God consciousness. So all these experiences of celestial being, all these experiences of the final level of creation are narrated there, in some of them in allegorious ways, some of them in different ways, but they are just reflecting the state of God consciousness. So once we are approaching the different aspect of Vedic literature from this point of view of different states of consciousness, then this apparent contradiction between the different aspects of Vedic literature is just dissolving, and we can just enjoy the literature as it is, and that's it.